This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at Curaleaf, one of the nation's top multi-state cannabis operators with 48 local dispensaries, 13 cultivation sites, and 12 processing facilities serving more than 150,000 registered medical marijuana patients. Check them out over at curaleaf.com. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Wednesday, August 7th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 771 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Louisiana kicks off our news day as yesterday marked the opening of the state's medical marijuana program. The Capital Wellness Solutions dispensary in Baton Rouge conducted Louisiana's first medical cannabis transactions yesterday, selling the oils, tinctures, pills, and inhalers allowed under law, though not flower, which is not. There will be just 9 dispensaries open in the state in all, with most to open up this week. Those 9 dispensaries will be served by 2 licensed cultivators and processors, one of which, GB Sciences, started distributing products yesterday. Zip over to Leafly for more on this one. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com. Colorado's Marijuana Enforcement Division just released some numbers for how that state's legal cannabis program fared in 2018. According to those stats, the Mile High State sold a lot of marijuana last year, with more than 288,000 pounds of adult use sold against just under 148,000 pounds of medical. As Kyle Yeager over Marijuana Moment points out, the gap between medical and adult use grew substantially in 2018, as the spread for 2017 was only 65,000 pounds versus 2018's difference of 140,000 pounds. The overall amount of legal cannabis sold in Colorado last year was 436,155 pounds compared to 2017's total of 411,143 pounds. A good one to open up for a deeper read. Our final top story today brings us down to Florida, where well-known marijuana activist, lawyer, and super rich guy John Morgan has just tweeted that he thinks adult use marijuana should be legal. That's notable because Morgan was a major backer of the ballot measure that legalized medical marijuana in Florida in 2016. A group of Florida activists is working right now to collect signatures to land an adult use citizens initiative on the 2020 ballot, but needs to get just over 766,000 valid signatures to do so. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Curaleaf, one of the nation's top multi-state cannabis operators with 48 local dispensaries, 13 cultivation sites, and 12 processing facilities, serving up more than 150,000 registered medical marijuana patients. We're super excited to have Curaleaf come on board as our exclusive multi-state cannabis operator sponsor here at MJ Today Media. Pop over to curaleaf.com today if you haven't done so lately to learn more about all the things that Curaleaf is up to, from their support of the Veterans Cannabis Project to their ever-expanding operational footprint, which now covers 12 operational states, with more on the way as soon as some recent acquisition deals close. Curaleaf is also traded as a public stock up on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol CURA, or CURA. One last time, just open up curaleaf.com to dive in. That's curaleaf.com, spelled CURALEAF. Big thanks to everyone at Curaleaf for supporting today's show. All right, time for the Blitz. Marijuana Business Daily's chart of the week stacks up the last 7 years of legal marijuana reform on the state level, showing how those various initiatives incorporated social equity provisions within, or didn't, as the case may be. The positive insight picked out by the chart shows that in recent years, the trend has been towards legal cannabis laws having social equity rules baked in from the start. It's an admittedly small body of data to pull from, but even so, it's worth taking a look. UK-based pharmaceutical company GW Pharma is reporting strong sales of its FDA-approved marijuana-derived CBD medicine Epidiolex, with $68.4 million of the company's $72 million second quarter revenues coming from the single drug. Pop over to New Cannabis Ventures for the rest of the numbers and details here. A district court judge in New Mexico has ruled that the state must accept non-residents into its medical marijuana program. A recent change to the state's medical cannabis law modified the language around who can access medical cannabis from someone living in the state to a quote-unquote person, leading Santa Fe District Judge Brian Beedscheid to write, quote, "The plain language of the current definition of qualified patient indicates that the qualified patient need not be a New Mexico resident," unquote. Mexico lawmakers are holding a series of public forums to collect feedback from citizens on the legalization of marijuana. The Mexican parliament has a website up with more details and a form where people can register to take part. There are a limited number of spots, so on the off chance that you live in Mexico and want to attend, don't delay in getting your name in. Mexican lawmakers are expected to start tackling legalization legislation later this year. Marijuana Business Daily has more on this, as well as a link to register for the feedback forums. Alaska's Credit Union 1 just announced that it was ending a pilot program it was running to service legal cannabis businesses. The program ends at the end of this month and will be closing because of a lack of a certain kind of financial liability insurance that the credit union requires. The musical festival Outside Lands, which takes place this weekend in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park and that has been working to become the first California festival to legally incorporate cannabis sales and consumption, is being held up in that ambition with some pending permit approvals. Outside Lands kicks off this Friday, just 2 days from now, and as of yet, the organizers have not heard back from the city's Office of Cannabis as to whether they will be able to open up space for cannabis to be legally sold and consumed. This is one of those changing society stories that's an interesting read. And finally for today, our friends over in Leafly's podcast division are starting up a Canadian products review show and are looking for a couple of good hosts. If you're at least 19, live in Canada, and think you have what it takes to bring home a great products review show, then I'd encourage you to swing over to Leafly to see how you can throw your hat into the ring. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Why did the chicken cross the playground? To get to the other slide. Thanks to our sponsor, Cureleaf, and to our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.